All right, my friends, welcome back to Frogboy X1 Gaming. I'm Andrew, and today we're talking about day 28 of switching from Nvidia over to AMD. Now, we have 2 more days of these videos. We're only going up to 30. I think 30 is sufficient. 30 days, kind of just the overall experience of how it's going, how it's been, um, issues that I've run into. I think that's fair. I think that's more than sufficient. So, uh, day 28, man. I actually have had a chance now to kind of see, a little bit of like what's going on. I think, because of my videos, putting my videos out and then, kind of like thumbing through them and stuff, it's like showing up other AMD videos and stuff. And I've kind of noticed a pattern over the last few days. Uh, Good for thee, but not for me. And I'll explain that. Good for you. Like everybody's talking about, like, oh yeah, you should just buy an AMD graphics card right now. Pointing out, they're cheaper, stuff like that, and it's kind of like becoming like a running theme with all of the other, like the other YouTubers, other channels, stuff like that. Quick to point out that like AMD prices are low right now, and I think what's going on, and it's weird, because they'll be like, yeah, man, AMD, but then they all jump right back on their Nvidia PCs, and like nothing happened. It's like they want you to go out and buy the AMD product, but they're gonna stick with Nvidia no matter what. And I don't think that's fair for them to, or I don't think that's fair for them to be like, yeah, man, you go ahead and bite the bullet, and I mean, whatever happens, happens. I mean, in a way though, I mean, it's like, in a way though, they kind of know that you're gonna be happy, just like I am, and I'm pretty happy with this purchase. I'm pretty happy with this purchase, but deep down inside, when you watch them, like your favorite YouTuber or one of these other guys that you trust and that you've been watching for a long time, and they're telling you that, but deep down that they're gonna keep using their Nvidia cards, that just kind of makes you feel like, man, dude, I could have the best, but this is not the best, but it's cheaper, and my favorite YouTuber's telling me that this is a good deal right now and that I should jump on it and that I'll be happy. That just kind of instills that like that thought in your head that like maybe you don't got the best or maybe your product isn't good enough. But I've had this 7900 XT now for 28 days. I've been using it. Every single piece of content I've made for this channel in the last 28 days has been from this card. All the games that I've played in the last 28 days, all of the experiences that I've had in the last 28 days have been on this AMD 7900 XT. This card actually gave me the confidence, like I said earlier, to go out and buy an LG C2 for and to actively play other games other than just sim racing on that screen with this card, and that's awesome. Like I'm grateful that the experience is good enough to where I'm like, okay, you know what, man, maybe 4K gaming is for me again. I'd kind of moved away from it. On the console space, seeing games coming out sub 1080p or, definitely sub 4K, and feeling like, man, just not being happy with the overall image quality on a 4K screen. I was like, oh man. But then I got the 1440p monitor for the Xbox Series S so that I could test that and do content for the channel and help. It's always just been This channel has always just been about trying to help people find the best way to enjoy their video games, because if you go to any other channel or you go anywhere else, it's just so overwhelming when it comes to the negativity. It really is. Now, these videos, these last 28 days, they might have seemed like I have some sort of axe to grind with Nvidia. That was never the intention for these videos. Like it's not. Like I left Nvidia because frankly, I didn't want to go out and pay another $1,200 or $1,500 for another graphics card. I had a pre-built. There was no way I could fit I had two 8-pin connectors in that pre-built. There was no way I could fit anything over a 4070 Ti or something, or over a 4070 or something. And I was mad. Like, I was frustrated. I was irritated that I was already in a position to where, man, I need to upgrade, and Nvidia doesn't have an option for me. So my only other option is the two 8-pin AMD card. I'm going to be 100% honest with you right now. If I would have known that I was going to have to rebuild my whole PC, I would still have an Nvidia card right now. I would. I would have never even thought of getting, because it's never been about the money. It's never been about the money and saving money for a graphics card. Like, I want a solid experience. And when it comes to that, like, I'm not worried about the money of paying money for an Nvidia graphics card or an AMD graphics card. But I have a channel too. So it's one of those things where it's like, hey man, like, I have an opportunity right now to buy a competing product, and not only give myself the experience of that, but also be able to make content with that and provide, some sort of information for people out there that are in the same position that I am. If you bought a 30 series graphics card, anything under a 3090, you're probably in the same position that I am, depending on your situation, because every PC gamer is different. Every PC gamer has, certain wants and certain ranges that they want to be in, and they've been in this for a lot longer than I have. Man, I'm a console gamer. I started making YouTube content. I needed a PC to make YouTube content, and here we are. Now I am gaming 50-50 on PC and console. Like, I still play my consoles regularly, and I have been, buying some of the older games and playing them on PC, buying some of the newer games, doing content, making content. It's all part of the growth that comes with having a YouTube channel. Like, you're going to grow in ways that you never even expected you were going to grow. You're going to make content for things that you never thought you were going to do. And the last thing I want to do is be another one of those YouTube channels, those console YouTube channels that just sits and regurgitates the same thing as everybody else. Like, oh my gosh, a new update for Halo came out, and everybody covers that. Or I want to cover different things. Like, I want to make this a more unique channel that everybody's welcome to. PlayStation fans, Xbox fans, PC fans, Nintendo fans, everybody fans. And I even cover like the weird off stuff every once in a while. So this opportunity to try AMD, and to really, because I don't go to other channels and look for a whole bunch of information before I make my decision. I simply looked at it like this here was my train of thought. I got a pre-built. I've only got two 8-pin connectors. So I can either put a 7900 XT in here. I mean, technically I could have done a 7900 XTX because that has a 2-pin power supply. I had an 850 watt power supply in that pre-built. So I could have, well, I think it might have been an 800. I think it might have been an 800 watt power supply. So I could have went up to, technically I could have done an XTX, but I might have started running into problems, sooner or later with that particular power supply. And my only other options were a 4070. And I looked at the 4070 and I thought, no, dude, like, it's got a 192-bit bus. I'm going down. I'm only gaining 2 gigs of VRAM. I'm still going to be, I'm not going to be like future proofed with that. So clearly within them confines of that pre-built, my only other option was AMD if I wanted more VRAM. And, I wasn't going to go buying like a 3090 or any of that stuff, because those ones needed like three 8-pin, a 3080 Ti needed 3 8-pin. It was basically just, like, my only other option was getting like a, my two options were building a whole new PC or buying an AMD card. Well, is what happened is I bought the AMD card. I brought it home. I tried to fit it in a case. It wouldn't fit. So I freaked out. I didn't want to say, I bought it from Amazon. So it would have been like a long thing of sending it back. So I just ran over to Best Buy. I was just going to get a case and just move everything over so that it would fit. ended up getting a motherboard and everything. So I just built a PC. Like I said, like the whole building the PC and like the cost and all of that was never really the thing. I had already invested the money in the pre-built and I didn't want to give up that money too easily, but it is what it is. And now I'm in this situation and now I'm right here and I'm satisfied. Like I'm satisfied. I mean, I could go and I could buy a 4080 or 4090 and put it in this case if I ever needed to. So I mean, I'm sitting in a better position going forward than I was when I started. And that's cool because I actually get to take the time now to experience the AMD graphics card and to tell you the truth, I found a lot of stuff with this AMD card that I'm very excited about, that I'm very happy with, and I don't see myself at a disadvantage at all. Like I said, every bit of content that I've created has been with this new build. Everything that I've done and everything that I was doing previous, I'm still able to do that and still be able to get a more satisfying experience when I'm playing my PC games on either 1440p or 4K. Like I'm getting a satisfying experience without even having to use any upscaling technologies. But that is a big thing. That is a big thing going forward, is these upscaling technologies. And I mean, even me, like a console guy, can figure this out a lot better than most of the other PC guys, because you don't hear anybody else talking about what I'm going to talk about right now. Coming from PlayStation, PlayStation has always been known to use magic, to make things even better and to do more with less. That has come into PC graphics cards. That's the whole thing, like the FSR, the DLSS, the XESS, all of these different technologies are coming out to make it so you can do more with less. And that's fine. I mean, like I'm used to it on the console side of things, but now they're bringing that to the PC space. They're bringing these technologies to the PC space, and they're going to start selling you. They're going to start selling you less for more money, and Nvidia is already doing that. Nvidia is already talking about not doing a 4090 Ti. They're just going to wait until the 50 series and then double the power of whatever they've got there. And that's pretty cool. Maybe I go back to Nvidia during the 50 series. Maybe I just stick it out with AMD. I'm actually very interested to see how this chiplet design, plays out. I'm interested to see, the power gains and, like the overall performance gains that I gain with each, uh, driver update when they start coming out, when they start bringing out their frame generation technology and all of these other things. I'll be able to test that and try that. I'll be able to have a pretty good enough run with this AMD graphics card over the next over the next year or so to really figure out and see exactly how this is going to play out and where I'm going to be as a content creator that's going to pretty much have to have a PC all the time anyways. So I'm glad that I was able to take this detour to be able to check out what AMD has and uh, to be able to make content on there. And to tell you the truth, we've seen a lot of growth. So maybe, and that does, I mean, that kind of has you thinking like, man, maybe I should just stick with AMD. It's helping the channel grow. People are interested in this. People want to see how this is going. So it is about growth too, obviously. This is a YouTube channel, and the whole point is to grow and to build a community and to be able to have fun and do what I enjoy doing, and that's gaming. Like I enjoy gaming, and I enjoy being able to talk about gaming with you and to be able to make content to show you guys new cool things. And I know it creates a lot of FOMO, but I'll tell you what, I don't have any FOMO right now. Like I don't. Like I'm genuinely satisfied with this AMD experience. I've been having fun with it. I haven't really ran into any issues to where I'm like, oh my gosh, I need more power. I've been like I bought the LG C2. I bought the LG C2 so that I could, obviously, be able to game at 4K because this card is providing that experience fairly reasonable. If I do, I mean, so far I haven't really had to utilize FSR too much. Like I haven't. So when I gets to a point where I'm having to use FSR, then I know in my mind, then I know like, okay, look, man, you're starting to need FSR a lot at 4K. Image quality, you know, once the frame rate starts to dip, if I'm not getting a good enough playable frame rate, then boom, I got 1440p that I can slip down to, and I'm fine with that. I'm actually fine going down. 1440p is my limit, though. I don't know if I'd really want to go all the way back down to 1080p. Going back down to 1080p, I don't have a 1080p display, so 1440p is pretty much the lowest I'd want to be able to go with this card. Once we get to 1440p, then in order to like cover new stuff, then I probably would end up having to upgrade again. You know what I mean? Like it's gonna be content, or it's gonna be software driven for my upgrades. If I'm making 4K content on the channel now, if I'm making, you know, and I'll still be covering the games. So the games are going to kind of dictate where I need to go so that I can continue to cover that content, and be able to produce like, you know, 4K videos, stuff like that. So I don't foresee having to upgrade for at least a little while. I think we'll probably be okay for a little while. I haven't completely decided if it's going to be like a like doing benchmarks or anything like that. It'll probably just kind of stay at like covering the games like I normally would. I would rather do that than do the benchmarks. Everybody else is doing the benchmarks. I don't know exactly how to do the benchmarks right. You know, I mean, my way of doing them would be like I just did with the Ratchet and Clank thing, just doing like a 30-minute video and showing you guys, you know, the overall performance and how it plays versus, you know, doing like the little 15-minute or 5-minute little side by side things. Like I don't want to do those. Those take a lot of time to do, and maybe I could do those on like the weekend or something, but they do take a lot of time, so it's very very time consuming, and then uploading them takes a lot of time. So I don't know, man. Like I feel good about this AMD experience. I feel like it's good. I don't feel like I'm at a disadvantage. I feel like if you were to leave the consoles, I would recommend going AMD if you're leaving the consoles, honestly. Um, but then again, like I know that there's like this drive or this passion, you know, if you're on the consoles right now, and people are already talking about like PS5 Pros and mid-gen console refreshes for these consoles and stuff. And knowing what I know now, I would recommend, you know, just getting a PC, guys, because I think you'll save a lot more money in the long run, and I think you'll be happier. You'll be able to do things and experience these games on your own terms without having to rely on, you know, like the consoles. But then there's the people out there that want that, you know, that customized experience where it's just already done, it's optimized and ready to go on the console. You just jump in, you start playing. Like I get that. I get that. So um, but in terms of leaving Nvidia right now, like if you're one of the people with a 30 series card and you're struggling with the new games already, oh man, that's a tough one, man. Like I can't recommend spending all that extra money on an Nvidia graphics card again. But I do kind of feel better about, you know, the VRAM allotment of the 4070 and the 4080 and the 4090. Like I do feel better about that, and I do feel like if you go with one of those cards, you're going to be happy, and you're going to get, you know, them newer features, you know, the Nvidia offers. But at the same time, I do kind of feel like the AMD side of card, the AMD thing is going to be, they're going to last a lot longer. So I don't know, man. Like I don't know. PC gaming is very very it's really, it's not necessarily confusing, but it is really there's a lot that goes into it, man. There's a lot that goes into it. Me personally, I'm happy as long as I can play my games and I get a stable experience. I do feel like that this experience has been a little bit more stable, but then again, you know, I'm 28 days into this. We'll find out. We'll definitely find out, and I will keep making content on this card, you know, past the 30 days, but it will be different content. So if you guys like this content, don't forget to like and subscribe, man. I'm very happy with the performance of these videos, so it's pretty awesome, man. If they keep doing well, you know, obviously we'll stop at 30, but thank you guys for watching these, and we'll see you guys in the next one. Thanks.